On the campaign trail following the money, the San Diego measures that may be attracting some deep pockets.
It's more than just a coffee place.
Brewing up espresso and conversation, the cafe that's created a unique gathering space in the heart of one San Diego neighborhood.
When we were homeless, of course, you feel hopeless at that time. And years later, I look back and I'm standing at the park where I used to sleep at. I mean, it's a good feeling knowing that things do change.
She survived living on the streets of San Diego. Meet the woman who's using her life to paint the story of inspiration. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. California gets tougher on super pollutants. Today, Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill with the strictest greenhouse gas regulations in the country. The law calls for steep reductions in several pollutants, including methane and gases used in aerosols. Dairy farmers are also on the hook. They will be required to reduce methane emissions from manure. The new law also pushes for a significant increase in composting to reduce organic waste that emits methane when it breaks down in landfills. The ACLU nationwide is calling for new laws to help veterans facing deportation. KPBS's Steve Walsh has the story.
Military service can be the fast track to becoming a U.S. citizen, but some immigrant veterans don't realize that citizenship is not automatic. Over the past year, the ACLU found honorably discharged veterans who were deported over the years, sometimes for minor offenses. Retired Marine Jack Harkins is part of a coalition supporting reform.
Thrown out of the country that they came to serve. And that's not fair. And veterans, fairness is key to veterans.
Congressman Juan Vargas has introduced a bill that would require the military to tell recruits about the citizenship process while they're in training. The second bill would require the Department of Defense to track down non-citizen vets to fast-track their citizenship. The third bill would allow deported vets to come back to the U.S. for VA medical care. Steve Walsh, KPBS News.
Support for military coverage is provided by the Patriots Connection, a program of the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation. A new federal report says incomplete fingerprint records have led to the government granting citizenship to immigrants who are not eligible. The Department of Homeland Security says there are more than 800 cases where people applied for citizenship under a different name or birth date. Their fingerprints were missing from the government database, so the discrepancies weren't caught. Immigration officials are now investigating if any of those immigrants could lose their citizenship. The century-old Churchill Hotel sat vacant and in disrepair in downtown San Diego for years. It is now restored and providing affordable rentals to 56 veterans, 8 at-risk youth, and other formerly homeless people. San Diego politicians and advocates for the homeless held a ribbon-cutting ceremony today for the grand reopening of the historic hotel. Mayor Kevin Faulkner says the project is part of the city's initiative to get 1,000 homeless veterans off the streets and into affordable housing.
They served our country, they protected our freedoms, but later, of course, due to a variety of circumstances, found themselves homeless and on the streets. And we're working hard, all of us here in San Diego, to help our veterans in need, particularly our homeless veterans.
Each resident has their own studio unit with a kitchenette and a bathroom. The monthly rent for each unit is $942. Residents will pay up to 30% of their income towards rent. The $20 million renovation project was paid for by federal and state dollars. San Diegans will be voting on a number of ballot measures come November 8th. Several are likely to attract significant cash. iNewsSource reporter Joe Yardi took a look at the money flowing to several of the ballot measures for this week's News and Numbers. So, Joe, where's the money going?
The measure that's attracted the most money is the Chargers' downtown stadium and convention center plan. The teams poured $4.3 million into the committee backing the measure. They're virtually its only funder. Meanwhile, the committee established to oppose the measure has only pulled in about $6,000 as of last week.
That's quite a lot of money. Are there other ballot measures getting major contributions like that?
Yes, and one of them is a competing stadium measure, the so-called Citizens Plan. The committee backing it has pulled in $1.4 million in contributions and loans, including almost $1 million from development company Ballpark Ventures LLC, $250,000 from developer John Moores, and $200,000 from attorney Corey Briggs, the man who wrote the measure.
So, Joe, both stadium measures have big money backing them, but poorly funded opposition. Are all of the measures so lopsided?
Well, there's two related measures that seem like they're going to be a pretty fair fight. These would force November runoffs for city offices and require that ballot measures be voted on in November, not June. This is shaping out to be a fight between liberals who support the measures and conservatives who oppose them. The committee backing the measures has pulled in more than $40,000, most of it from real estate mogul Lawrence Hess, a major Democratic donor. The committee against them has pulled in $100,000 from the Lincoln Club and the Chamber of Commerce, which both tend to back Republican candidates and causes.
Thank you, Joe. That is iNews Source reporter Joe Girardi. A key player in the Chargers Stadium debate is now switching gears. Adam Day, the chairman on the Citizens Stadium Advisory Group, is throwing his support behind a plan for a new stadium in downtown San Diego. His task force wanted a Mission Valley venue near Qualcomm. Day now says it's time for San Diego to unite and support the Chargers ballot measure. The team has Measure C on the November ballot. It needs 2/3 support because it's calling for a hotel room tax hike. Investigators are checking out any terrorism connections to the series of bombing blasts in New York and New Jersey. They say they have found no evidence that the suspect was part of a broader terrorist cell. The manhunt led officers to a shootout with Ahmad Khan Rahamni in New Jersey this morning. A bullet caught him in the leg. 2 officers were also injured. Surveillance video shows one of the explosions in a Manhattan neighborhood on Saturday. At least 29 people were injured. A pipe bomb also exploded in Seaside Park, New Jersey, ahead of the race for Marines and sailors. No one was injured in that case.
We have every reason to believe this was an act of terror. Even though this suspect is apprehended, I've said over the last 24 hours, we will have a very strong and visible NYPD presence because of this incident and obviously because of the United Nations General Assembly.
We'll have more on the investigation online and at kpbs.org. And tonight on the PBS NewsHour, that starts at 7 o'clock right here on KPBS. Health officials are declaring success in their battle against Zika in one section of Miami. They say spraying for mosquitoes has reduced risk in the Art District, where Zika was first transmitted in the U.S. mainland. Pregnant women are still, though, being warned to be careful about traveling to the Miami area. San Diego County is answering the call to help with a nationwide blood supply shortage. The American Red Cross says donations are down. 10,000 more donations are needed to replenish the blood supply for emergencies. The Red Cross says the shortage is persistent since the summer. For this week's Red Cross donation schedule, you can log on to kpbs.org. California health officials are trying to confirm whether a San Marcos woman died of West Nile virus. She died last week. West Nile is another disease transmitted by mosquitoes, but not the same ones that spread Zika. There have been 8 confirmed cases of West Nile so far this season. Mother Nature offered an incredible show overnight. A Twitter user shared these lightning photos from National City. Power outages directly linked to thunderstorms left more than 2,100 San Diego homes and businesses in the dark. Thunder and lightning tore through San Diego early this morning. The National Weather Service says the county recorded at least 15 lightning strikes on the ground between 2 and 4 a.m. San Diego saw a couple of sprinkles this afternoon. Larissa Abreu is tracking that system along with a warm-up for your work week in tonight's KPBS Weather Report.
We continue to watch a trough as it moves further off to inland across the southwest, and that's going to be the culprit of a couple of showers and thunderstorms we'll see from Los Angeles to San Diego. All of this moisture will continue to spread eastbound into the Four Corners and eventually get into the Albuquerque area in New Mexico. So a pretty widespread area of where we do anticipate some of the showers and also the thunderstorms. As we take a closer look into our region, we can see plenty of cloud cover already moving in with just a touch of rain across the area. Notice that right along that I-5 corridor is where we have a batch of rain at the moment. And just keep in mind that some of these showers can pack a punch, leading to heavy rain, reduced visibility, and that can lead to some widespread delays. It'll be partly cloudy as we head towards late tonight. Temperatures are expected to dive into the mid-60s. Around the region, we'll notice an increase in cloud cover, especially right along the coast. So from Long Beach southbound into Chula Vista, it'll turn out partly to mostly cloudy. Further inland, nice and quiet with clear skies from Ramona to Alpine. Mount Laguna, lows are set to fall into the mid-50s. We're at 69 in Borrego Springs, even milder out in Mecca, coming in at 76 with clear skies. As I mentioned, the threat for downpours will continue across this general area into the day on Tuesday. It's that trough that I mentioned that will work its way further inland, bringing showers and storms anywhere that you'd see green. It's also going to turn out a little bit more humid across SoCal and then cooler as we take a look at central and northern portions of California. So all in all, SoCal, you're definitely going to see the chance for a few of those thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. It'll be an overcast day with temperatures in the lower 80s. We're right around 81 degrees with variable clouds here for Wednesday, but notice it should be mostly dry by then. Partial sunshine as we head towards the second half of the work week. Temperatures remaining in the lower 80s, and then a bit cooler as we head towards Friday. We'll have low clouds to start off the end of the work week, and then we'll finally see breaks of sunshine. Temperatures by then in the mid-70s. A shower or storm expected Tuesday inland, highs in the lower 90s, a little bit cooler into the day on Wednesday. By Thursday, we'll have clouds and then some sun with temperatures in the mid-80s. In the mountain is where we do anticipate the showers to continue here pretty much through Wednesday. It won't be until Thursday night where conditions will finally begin to dry out. We even run the risk for an afternoon thunderstorm by Thursday, but it should be largely dry with those temperatures in the 70s. The desert Southwest is also going to see the chance for showers pretty much continue here through Thursday, and this is beneficial rain. We continue under an ongoing drought, so any rain is welcomed rain. For KPBS News, Larissa Abreu.
It's been more than a week since a businessman from Mexico was convicted of illegally scheming to funnel more than $500,000 into San Diego campaigns. Now one of the key players in that case is due for sentencing, but his sentencing has actually been delayed. I'm joined outside of the federal courthouse with Amita Sharma. She's the investigative reporter who's been following this case from the very beginning. Can you talk to us about the delay of the sentencing for Ernie Encinas?
Well, so Encinas cooperated with federal prosecutors in their case against Jose Susumo Azano Matsura. Azano is scheduled to be sentenced on December 12th, I believe. And so typically what happens is that the cooperators who might themselves be accused of wrongdoing get sentenced after the people whom they helped get convicted are sentenced. So as a result, Encinas is scheduled to be sentenced on January 9th.
Now, regarding how Encinas helped Azano to funnel money into San Diego campaigns, you actually reviewed the campaign disclosure documents for DeMantis for 2011 and 2012. Can you tell me, what did you find?
Well, it's interesting. What I found was that more than 2 dozen donors had ties to Encinas. They were either related to Encinas, they were friends with Encinas, or they worked with him, or they worked for him. Only 3 of those people were flagged as straw donors by the San Diego Ethics Commission. We don't know about the others. Prosecutors never introduced them, their names, their initials in federal court as evidence or in any legal filings. So it could be that they were legitimate, or it could be that they were straw donors and that the government simply used that information as leverage in their plea talks with Encinas, because Encinas pleaded guilty to conspiring to help Azano get his foreign money into the campaigns and committees devoted to helping former San Diego Mayor Bob Filner and District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis when they ran for mayor in 2012.
Is it possible that Encinas was actually reimbursing these donors with his own money?
Unclear. Extremely unlikely, because Encinas himself had some financial troubles. There were civil actions filed against him for non-payment totaling about, well, several $1,000s. And it wasn't until 2011 when he started working for Azano and heading out his security detail that he started bringing in some money. In fact, he admitted to prosecutors that he received $10,000 in cash payments from Azano that were kept off the books. And in 2011, I believe he admitted that he did not report $147,000 in cash payments. And in 2012, he admitted to not reporting $75,000 in cash payments to the federal government.
And Encinas was a former police detective with the San Diego Police Department. Investigating this case, what did you find out about him? What do people who know him say about him?
Well, outside of him being the go-between for Azano and the candidate campaigns, those who know Encinas say he is a humble guy, that he's not a typical cop who is on some sort of power trip. They say that this is a guy with a great sense of humor who is always smiling. That being said, Encinas did work in Vice at the San Diego Police Department, and one person whom I spoke to who knows Encinas well says, look, there are two different types of people who work in Vice. Those who loathe the nightclub industry, the entertainment industry, and they want nothing to do with it. And then there are those who get to know the nightclub owners and begin to like that environment. He says Encinas fell into the latter category, and ultimately Encinas became a consultant to the nightclub industry, and federal prosecutors say the reason he got into handling contributions for the mayoral campaigns in 2012 was because he wanted to see former San Diego Police Chief Bill Lansdowne replaced by someone, and again, it would be a new mayor who would replace the police chief, but he wanted to see the former police chief replaced by someone who would be lenient on the entertainment industry, not so tough on the entertainment industry.
Thank you so much. Great work.
Thank you.
We'll continue to follow this campaign finance investigation on air and online at kpbs.org. There's new information about home sales in San Diego County. Prices are going up. CoreLogic released the numbers today. The median price of a home went up 7.1% compared to August of last year, making the median price of a home $489,000, up from $465,000 in August of 2015. The number of homes sold in August is also up by 9.5%. Experts say these numbers are signs that the housing market is getting back to normal after the worst housing bust in modern history. There are more than 8,000 homeless people in San Diego. This includes children. One San Diego woman who was homeless as a child shares her story. She's putting a voice and a face to the issues to help people.
Like the bold shades here at Chicano Park, Innocente's art is vibrant.
And even if I'm having a bad day, I still paint something very colorful because my art really helps me. It changes my mood.
When Innocente was 15, she shared her story in a documentary bearing her name.
Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I don't have a life, because I do have a life. I'm a girl who likes to jump in puddles and likes flowers.
Innocente's story includes nights sleeping at Chicano Park when there wasn't room at a temporary shelter.
Every student is to present today.
Kids at my school don't know that I'm homeless. If people would find out, they'd probably make fun of me.
When Innocente was 6 years old, her family immigrated to San Diego from Mexico. They didn't speak the language or have anywhere to go. She remembers her mom staying awake sometimes all night to keep them safe.
The world is full of so many strong women, and you can't find any stronger woman than the woman that take care of their children even though they don't have a place to live, and that's a hard thing for them to go through.
In 2013, Innocente's story won an Academy Award.
And all of us are artists, and we need to stand up and help girls like her be seen and heard. It's so important.
But she says the opportunities that have come after to raise awareness mean even more.
This story that I have about being homeless here in San Diego, it's a story of many teens that here in San Diego that face homelessness, and many adults also and families.
Innocente is speaking this week at Interfaith Shelter Network's Celestial Nights. For 30 years, the nonprofit has provided shelter for the homeless.
It's something I'm passionate about. The shelters here in San Diego, I really like to advocate to end homelessness, and it's a big issue here.
Innocente says she wants people to know, with resources like job training and transitional housing, families like hers can have hope.
Celestial Nights is this Saturday at 6:30 at the Forum on the USD campus. The San Diego City Council today advanced a plan to reconfigure the heart of Balboa Park. The plan would clear Plaza de Panama from cars and reroute them to a new underground paid parking structure. Supporters of the plan say it will increase access to the park and give more park space to pedestrians. Opponents say the city's contribution of $45 million is just too much and that parking revenues are not likely to fully cover those costs. Council President Sherry Leitner was the only vote against the plan.
I believe introducing a paid parking structure to the center of Balboa Park is not the best use of public resources. In addition, this project is not in keeping with the city's climate action plan goals because it continues to prioritize personal automobile travel and parking over alternative transportation.
The City Council's vote today was preliminary. The city expects to have a more detailed financing plan before a final vote expected in November.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, I sit down with Atlantic Magazine writer Jonathan Rauch to discuss his theory that American politics suffers from too much reform. That's Monday on the PBS News Hour.
KPBS has launched a cross-platform media campaign to help connect civilians to military service members. The online video series is challenging stereotypes. It's also exploring the value of service and citizenship. The first part explores the question often posed to service members. Why did you join?
So did you join because you were super poor or because you were super patriotic?
Neither, actually. I was a gay black man in a small town. I needed to get out, so I joined the Air Force and became an electrician.
Oh, but you were poor, right?
Let's go with that.
Yeah, poor.
Welcome to Permission to Speak Freely, where we explore misconceptions between civilians and their military. Veterans we spoke to said they've heard a lot of unflattering assumptions about why they joined the military, which might have something to do with, I don't know, film and television.
Didn't Mommy and Daddy show you enough attention?
Sure, when the economy tanks, military enlistment goes up, and the benefits are a huge incentive. But the truth is, people join the military for all kinds of personal reasons.
I legitimately wanted to serve my country.
I joined for the educational benefits.
I just wanted to see more of the world.
I wanted to learn unique skills.
I joined because I had trouble finding a civilian job.
To see more of this video, go to kpbs.veteranscominghome.org. The Veterans Coming Home project is made possible with support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Move over Starbucks. A roadside coffee cart is brewing up its special brand of espresso with a side of conversation. The Teen Producers Project at the Media Arts Center shows us the unique gathering space in the heart of a San Diego neighborhood.
Tropical lemonade. My name is Justin Boone, and we're here at Burley and the Bean, making some coffee.
And I'm Vanessa Boone. I'm his wife. Oh, he's Burley.
And she's the Bean.
Over the years, I can't tell you how many people have said, wouldn't it be nice if we had a coffee house in Azalea Park?
Everybody's happy about it.
you know, like the whole neighborhood. And you can see how the neighborhood has been supporting them and then very helpful in everything. And because they needed a place like this.
We're trying to start a little garden. It's
a community garden.
Add on to the coffee cart, maybe some additional seating and stuff. But we want to be able to hopefully grow some vegetables, herbs, and stuff that we can kind of contribute to the neighborhood.
It's more than just a coffee place. There's a little garden going in next door, and there's a lot of information changing hands at this place, and a lot of people meeting each other. So it's definitely enhanced the quality of life for Azalea Park neighborhood.
I'm working on the same side as the customers. I'm not like on the other side of the counter talking to you and I guess like giving your drink over the counter and stuff. Everyone's kind of seeing what I'm doing, and I feel it's more
it's definitely more personable.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about what you want to do, especially in small businesses, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, but they're making it happen. So I think if everybody has a dream to do something like this, they can go for it. You know, they have the neighborhood that support and everybody support.
Awesome.
I'm extremely appreciative and feel really blessed to have this business and opportunity. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That came to us from the Teen Producers Project at the Media Arts Center. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.